Yep.
Okay, ready to go?
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Sorry for the delay, people. It's a lot of technology to get all working together. Good afternoon and welcome to this meeting of the Central Coast Local Planning Panel. I want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we live, work and play, particularly to pay respects to the Darkinjung country and elders past and present. Want to recognise the continued connection to the lands and waterways of these people and extend that acknowledgement to the homelands and stories of those who also call this place home. Also recognise future leaders and the shared responsibility to care for and protect places and people. As you will have gathered, this meeting is being recorded and webcast, so there should be no other recording of the meeting. Our panel members today are me, Donna Reigate, I'm the chair. We have as our experts Mike Ryan and Louise Mende, and Glenn Watts is our community representative. So welcome to you all. We have received no apologies. Today we're dealing with a number of development applications, some of which meet the criteria for a public meeting and others which don't. We've got an application at 15 Allfield Road, Woy Woy. There is also an application in Fisherman's Parade, Daly's Point. We also had on the agenda an application for 129 Allen Street, Niagara Park. This matter had been considered by a local planning panel that was differently constituted, i.e. different chair and different members. It's been considered by those people a number of times and deferred for further information, and following discussion with the panel prior to this meeting, today's panel, and in the absence of any explanation from council as to why this should come to today's meeting rather than back to the people who have been dealing with it for a number of months, this panel will not be considering that application. It needs to be considered by the panel that have been dealing with it. So the other things we're going to do that don't meet the public meeting criteria are consider our instructions to council in relation to a couple of appeals, one at Umina Beach and another one at Ettalong. Okay, so that's the formalities. The panel has been provided with assessment reports from council staff. We've done site orientation. We've also had briefings on key issues and some supplementary information. We've got a couple of people registered to address the panel today, all in relation to Allfield Road, Woy Woy. That is Andrew Selk, who is an objector to that proposal, and on behalf of the applicant, Nilesh Minow and Lashta Haydari, and my apologies if I've said those names incorrectly. So what happens is we let the community, the objector speak first, and then we will hear from the applicant's representative. Each objector gets 3 minutes and the applicant gets a total of 15 minutes to respond to all of that. Then what we will do is go away and deliberate and endeavour to have our decisions up on the web as quickly as possible after the meeting. Right, so in terms of the agenda, I'm just getting my iPad to cooperate, which it isn't. We have got, first things first, of course, disclosures of interest. All panel members have made written disclosures and no interests have been declared. Has anybody stumbled across anything that they need to declare since they submitted their written interest form?
No,
Madam Chair.
No, me neither. So that's good. No conflicts have been identified. We've got minutes of a number of previous meetings of the panel, which have been endorsed by the chairs of those meetings. Can I take it, members of the panel, that you're happy to accept those minutes?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Second that.
Okay, and that means we will move on to our speakers. Our first speaker is Andrew Selk, who is an objector. I'll hand over to Mr. Selk, and you've got 3 minutes, but before your 3 minutes starts, you indicated that you had some difficulty filling in the form that you need to submit to register to speak. Is there some problem with our form, or are you having technical problems? I don't know if Mr. Selk is here. Oh yeah, that's him.
Andrew, we can't hear you. No, we can't hear you. Sorry. You're not on mute. You might have to turn the volume up.
No, can't hear anything.
Loud.
We didn't get it.
Yes.
Oh, hello. Yes.
I beg your pardon. Hello, thank you.
Right. Before
Lisa.
before the clock starts, please tell me what your problem was in terms of registering to speak.
I'm the next door neighbour to this project.
I know. I want to know if there's a problem with the system that we've got for people to register to speak. You indicated in your message that you couldn't complete the form. Is it a problem on our end or yours?
Okay, it's a problem on the end that supplied the mail yesterday that was dated 6th of February, which I received yesterday at 2 p.m. that said I needed to complete the form by midday yesterday.
Okay. So it's neither of those two things. It's good old Aussie Post. Okay. Thank you very much.
No. I think it was a letter drop, hand drop. The other thing is, no, it wouldn't work through my iPad. I'm obviously not very savvy with this stuff, so...
Well, we will. I will ask council staff if they could just ask the technical people just to check that all those forms and things are working properly for future meetings. Anyway, please let us move on to telling us about the application and your views on that. Thank you.
Right.
Go.
Me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So my name's Andrew Self. I live at number 13 Allfield Road. I live in a single brick dwelling with a tiled roof. I'm surrounded by buildings that are predominantly single story dwellings, except for the back, which is some 40 metres away from my dwelling. And there will be 11 windows from this property facing from the second story, facing into my property. Now I got 3 or 4 already at the backyard that face my backyard, so I'll have another 11. This will be a grand total of something like 15 windows facing my property, and that's one thing. So privacy is an enormous problem. The fact that there is going to be a shading of my property, even though I looked at the shading plan, it doesn't take into account from what my sites is that I've just spent $14,000 in cash and paid up front for a 10 kilowatt solar system encouraged by New South Wales government and federal government. Now, I enjoy having just paid for that, and I would like to be able to get a sustained income from that to help with my enormous electricity bills. But I believe the property will shade my solar panels on, and I wouldn't know if it's the eastern, western or northern side of the property, but I have them on both sides of my roof. The other part of this is that installing 4 two-story units on a property this small, I find to be like stuffing a Christmas stocking until it's over full, and it's going to spew out onto the street. It's going to spew out onto the neighbourhood. It's definitely going to affect me enormously with traffic. every vehicle coming out of every one of those garages is going to point headlights at my property. I will hear these, whether they're Harley Davidsons at the worst end of the spectrum, four-wheel drives, or small, quiet cars. I have no idea what these vehicles will be doing, but they'll be coming through a colour-bond fence at my bedrooms, which I find to be really horrid in thought. Now, I'm not trying to tell anybody what they can or cannot build, but I would like to request that any person building a property that obviously was never going to live in it, and I don't believe anyone that's building these would be living in it, is going to actually give too much of a hurt on what the people that do own the property adjacent or a neighbouring would be. The other thing is there has been another four dwelling substation built, substation appearance building about 5 houses up the street from me. And after just this morning walking up the street and going to the shop, I asked a couple of my neighbours what they felt about this, and they said it looks like a substation. It looks ghastly, and not only that, the traffic will spew out onto the street once it is settled in by people. Now, it has not got people settled in it yet since it's been built. Maybe one tenant is renting, maybe another one has just moved in. So we're yet to see that.
Your 3 minutes is up.
I didn't get told 3 minutes. So the other thing I have is there's every building around me is full of people that are 75 plus, and all day long I end up with MDIS nursing, home nursing and caring coming and stopping out front to visit all these people's care. Who is going to account for that parking when all of this stuff spews out onto the street and into that building, possibly into the buildings next door? And I don't necessarily have to have on-street parking, but I certainly don't want to deal with that. And the traffic light intersection is being modelled and parking is being taken away from that traffic light at Blackwall Road and Allfield Road, and it's going to be taken right up to the place at number 11 Allfield Road will become no parking. So that means all of that is going to be parked out the front, including their building trucks, their backhoes, all the crud that they want to chuck out there.
Okay.
This is an unfair amount of people to try and stuff into one place. I don't need it. I don't want Housing Commission buying it. I don't need to live next door to Housing Commission. This is a purchase I built for myself and my wife in retirement for joy, not for getting online and having to ask council to consider a different design.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Self. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And your comments. Could I please now ask Nilesh Minow and Lashta Haidari to address the panel? I assume you're doing that together.
They're not here, Donna. They haven't
Right.
turned up. Yeah. They were both for the recommendation, and they're basically just to answer any questions,
Okay.
if there were any.
But they have not.
They have not, no.
No. Okay. All right. Well, that probably just about concludes the public meeting then. And as I indicated earlier, what we will do now is jump out of this meeting and jump into the deliberative meeting where the panel will discuss the applications, and we will of course endeavour to have our minutes up on Council's website just as soon as possible. Can I thank everybody for their attendance this afternoon, particularly Mr. Self, and thank him for sharing his views with us. Can I thank the council staff and ask members of the panel if we could be back on, I'll say 2:25, on the separate link that we should have received for the deliberative meeting, and we can take it from there. Thank you all very much and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Lisa.
Thanks. Bye.
That's it from me. And that's it from him.